Hello. What I'd like to do here today is use the TI SmartView calculator to generate the five-number summary. Now, this is the program of which that is free for the next 6 months from Texas Instruments, which is pretty nice, just to have a graphing calculator available on your home computer. Okay, so once you have opened the SmartView, or if you are actually going to be using a calculator, physical calculator, then in any case, it's all the same in terms of the buttons and the functionalities. So once you do get it started, then this is when we can start inputting our data set. So recall that what we normally will do is we'll just select stat, and that's so that we can input a list. So we'll go to stat and then edit, and then notice that we have lists L1, L2, L3, and so on. So it actually doesn't matter which list that we choose, nor does it matter whether the data is raw or sorted for that matter. So I'm just going to input four different values, 4, 7, 8, and 2. Now these values are completely arbitrary. They're not very specific to some type of conducted survey or random sample. So in this sense, I'm just using these values just for the heck of it. So once we do get the list inputted into the calculator, what you can do is actually just go to the home screen by pushing second and then quit. Now from here, because we're just going to go ahead and look for this five-number summary, we're just going to push stat, and then we're just going to go to the second column, calc, and we're going to select the one variable statistics. Now, it's one variable stats because we only used one list, not two lists. So in this case, we're just going to select one variable statistics. Now, in some cases, you may have an older calculator which that it doesn't give you this home screen or this pop-up menu. In any case, it's probably just going to say one variable stats, and then you're just going to select L1 and then just hit enter. Okay. Now in our case, I'll just hit enter and then hit calculate, and note that it did give me more than what I'm actually looking for. So it gave me the sample mean of 5.25, it gave me the sum of the x's, the sum of the x squares, and then it gave me the sample standard deviation and also the population standard deviation. Now, one thing to note is that the calculator actually doesn't know the difference between, where you're working with a sample versus a population. So that's actually left to the user. Now, recall that the five-number summary includes the minimum, the first quartile, the median, the third quartile, and then the maximum, of which those are the five numbers that we desired, so hence the five-number summary. So it found that the smallest value, or the min in this case, is 2. The first quartile, which is the median of the bottom half of the data set, is 3. And then we have that halfway in the middle of our data set is 5.5. So normally we can call this Q2, but it's more or less standard that we just call it the median, and sometimes it's denoted by M. We have that the third quartile, which is the median of the top half of the data set, is 7.5. Now we do have that the maximum is 8, which in this case, note that I'm not really getting the calculation for the range necessarily because it doesn't do that for us, but it is as simple as just taking the maximum of 8 minus the minimum of 2 and then giving us a range of 6. So in that case, the range can be obtained still from the five-number summary, but just with a little bit of extra work. The other thing is that notice that the mode actually is not given, and that's mostly because mode has to deal with qualitative data, of which in this case, well, we're not really sure what our data set was when the information that we inputted, but in either case, the calculator does not actually give us the mode. Now, that's all that I'm gonna be showing for this video, but let me know if you do have any questions, okay?